Hi, welcome back to Carla Astrology. Um, Thank you for joining me. Today, I am going to continue with my series with the palmistry associations that I believe you will find in the palm according to your Myers-Briggs personality. And this is the Queen of Sword Association. So this is the ISTJ. These are the very logical, intellectual individuals. Queens, so they're still introverted. They are introverted, sensory, thinking, and judging. So with the INFJ, you had somebody who was intuitive and feeling. The Queen of Swords is very sensory and thinking. So, but yet still could be judgmental of themselves. So I think a Queen of Swords, you might find the person that is very much in their head. So they could be anxious, Their strengths are they're honest, direct, strong-willed, very dutiful, and responsible. And when they are calm, they are practical. These are the people that like to have order, create order. And with them being so intelligent, they can also be a jack of all trades. Their weaknesses could be that they're stubborn, insensitive, and want to do everything by the book. They could be more judgmental of themselves and maybe in an unreasonable manner, like, yeah, it's just all my fault, and those are the people that could be very depressed. So a Queen of Swords does have that, with anything, when you have, if you're not in balance, you will see weaknesses. The shape of the hand, I believe, is going to be very air, which air, as we discussed before, is a square palm with long fingers. Although I do believe you might see some blending. I think that with all the hands. So, but primarily, air is a very, these are the people that are in their heads. So, and with a person that is in their head, if they're not in balance, you will see weaknesses. So that's where I think you might see some varying, maybe in the fingertips or the shape of the thumb. Primarily, I think you will see a wasted thumb. I do think that it will be a strong thumb, but there is the possibility with a person that is strong-willed, like this here, this is not actually labeled correctly, but this is the willpower. This is the willpower right here. So it could be that this is, say, the thumb itself. This pad might not be as developed. So, and when you find somebody that has a lack of that, those are the people that know how to manipulate. So, or they could instigate because they know how to use their words. They're strategically using their words, maybe not for the best manner. So, like I said, these are the people that might not be as balanced, but you can always see these types of characteristics in their hands. So, the mounts in this hand, I believe one of the primary large mounts is going to be the Mercury mount. And this right here mount is going to show how clever they are. I think that it could be bigger, and Venus. And not because Venus, Queen of Swords, Libra, I don't think so much that, as much as it shows imagination. So somebody that is clearly in their head a lot could have a very developed imagination, and you find imagination in Venus. You find it in the moon also. So also, I do believe that it's going to be a very well, that most of your mounts are going to be average size. I do think that Mercury might be a little bit bigger. And I do believe that this outside, the outer Mars will be fairly large because they also have a lot of willpower. So now let's take a look at the lines, because I'd also like to talk about something else that I believe you're going to find in your more introverted personalities is something called the Via Lascivia. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's Via Lascivia, and that's Via Lascivia. Anyway, it's VIALASCIVIA, and that way you can look it up for yourself. This is like it's called the addiction line in some palmistry theology, or it's like an escape line. And I think that somebody that might have a lot of anxiety could have this, because, or somebody that is always in their head, because when you are always in your head, you need some way to escape it, because if you're taking something that is bothering you and you're shoving it down inside and not dealing with it, it's going to manifest somehow. So I do believe you might see more of that in a personality that is introverted. So like this line over here that is in the moon, this is an exaggerated line of either your health line or your intuition line. And so the addiction lines are like something that kind of goes from the bottom of your palm up. You know, they could even go straight across, but they're usually like in here. And that is a line, that is an addiction line. It's something that you might have turned to deal, you know, to help you deal. Like I have one off of my lifeline. It's kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's not very, it's kind of minute. Yeah, right down here. It's right here. And it's just a little line, and it's that I know, because I know myself, I have a little bit of an addiction to food. So, you know, anyway, make fun of it. But these are the people that need an escape. And it's not just that. Sometimes I get too much into like even, you know, reading about things, because you know, my mind needs to stay a little busy. So or, you know, just that mundane routine. Those, you know, someone might need an escape from that. So, but somebody that is introverted, the reason I say that you might find this more in the queen personality is because these are the people that internalize struggles, instead of like a person that is extroverted. And again, this is just my opinion. They're able to just release, you know, they can just release, not always, but I think that this is just my opinion. A person that is extroverted, it might be easier for them to release, whereas a person that is introverted, it might not. So the Via Lascivia, I believe that you will see that in these types of personalities. So I believe that the heart line is going to be straighter, because a person that is in their head more, their emotions do not rule them. It's a little bit easier for a person, this type of personality, to control their emotions. So I think that the heart line is going to be fairly straight. It could have the little lines, you know, like we talked about before, like these little pink lines that I like to draw on, that could point to different areas to say where their strengths are. Like, you know, it could be pointed towards Jupiter. These are your more romantics, but for like a standard line for this personality type, I believe, is going to be straight. Deep and straight. Or it actually might not be so deep. I kind of contradicted myself there, because if they're off balance, then it could be, the line could be a little bit fainter. The headline, I believe, is going to go deep and clear across the hand. Or at least it's going to be fairly long. I drew these little pink lines because if they're too much in their head and say they're a workaholic or something, like maybe your corporate personality, somebody that's in a corporate position, that line, there might be a line coming off of it pointing up towards Mercury. So not only will they have the large Mercury mount, but they could have a headline with one of these extended sister lines coming off of it, pointed towards Mercury. Or maybe their lifeline points down a little bit because they're too much in their head. And the lifeline, I believe, is going to be, that's going to vary. I don't think that there's going to be one type of lifeline, because it is about your, it's more your physical vitality. I do believe that they will have a very pronounced fate line, because your fate line is like it's your career. It's your, what you find successful. And I believe that this type of personality is somebody that is always going to be thinking about that. So they might have to work maybe their whole life, unless they have they've thought out a great retirement plan, then this line might be a little bit shorter. But I believe that they will definitely have a very visible fate line in their hand. I think that about covers it. The straight heart line is more also because they could be a little bit cautious. Yeah, I think that's about it for the ISTJ, which is the Queen of Swords. So I hope you will join me for the next one. That is going to be the ISFJ, which will be the Queen of Pentacles. And I hope you like the video, and I hope that if you haven't subscribed, I hope you subscribe. And thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.